Hey, it's John Buice here in beautiful Sarasota, Florida, and welcome back to our channel. If you just found us, that's awesome. If you're coming back and you haven't subscribed yet, hey, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and we put out information about relocating here to, some people call it the Suncoast, some people call it Southwest Florida, some people call it the Gulf Coast, but we're in Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, and Venice, Parrish, Florida. So we cover all of Manatee and Sarasota County. So yes, there are some costs that you need to be very, very aware of if you're planning on relocating here, or if you're planning on being a part-time resident, which we call snowbirds. Snowbirds are people who come down when it's absolutely miserable in the north, snowing and cold, and they come down here for our perfect weather that normally starts right about now, November, and runs through typically April and into May. Today it's about 75 degrees. It'll be about 62 tonight. And this weather continues all the way through April. So it's just absolutely amazing here. This is what we call winter. So anyway, yeah, I want you to be aware of some of these costs that are involved. And again, especially if you're planning on being a snowbird. So my wind chimes are going off. The breeze is blowing. That's the lake behind my house. So just sitting out here enjoying it, and hopefully you'll enjoy the view too while I'm sitting here talking. So number one, HOA fees. So there's several different levels of HOA fees. You can be in a community like where I am. My particular community is called Palm Air Country Club. Now, this was developed in the 80s. It's not gated. There are some gated sections in here, but our community is not gated. Now, my HOA fees are only $479 per year. What does that cover? Primarily taking care of the lakes, community grassed areas, along sidewalks and everything, any signage in the community, and that's basically it. So every resident, my particular area is called Country Lakes. Within Country Lakes pays $479 per year to maintain those things. So as you climb up and have more amenities or gated communities, you get into higher HOA fees. You can get into golfing communities, and your HOA fees increase even more. Now, a lot of you have contacted me about the Del Webb, either in Lakewood Ranch or in Parrish. Both of them are in Manatee County, and their HOA fees generally are about $350 per month. Now, it varies a little bit on the size home that you have. The smallest ones are obviously less than the larger homes, but in general, about $350 per month. And what does that cover? All of your landscaping on the exterior of your home, so everything. They trim trees, bushes, they remulch, mow and edge. They do everything on the exterior of your home. So whether you're here or not, if you're a snowbird and you're gone for 6 months, they're still mowing the grass. They're still setting the sprinkler system for you. And really great thing about their Lakewood Ranch is they have reclaimed water. So it's treated water, sewer water that's been treated. And then they use that for the sprinklers. And it costs you like $5 a month to water your yard, which is amazing. So it keeps people from using county water to water their grass. So again, my area, we're very fortunate because there's wells here. So that's what we water our grass with. But anyway, getting back to HOAs. So your yard work, your gated security is taken care of, 24-hour manned gate, and then use of all the amenities within the community. So they have lagoon style pools, they have lap pools for exercising, they have amazing clubhouses, like seriously 23,000 square foot clubhouse, where I can't even think of something they don't have in there. They have kitchens in there for banquets, they have workout facilities, they have game rooms with pool tables and ping pong tables, tennis courts, and of course pickleball courts. So all of that is part of your HOA fees. So again, if you were coming here and you're a snowbird, those HOA fees continue year round, whether you're here or not, which, it's a good thing. Your yard's getting mowed, but $350 a month when you're not here can be a little bit expensive. But again, peace of mind, security, gated community, pretty nice. So that's basically it for HOAs for single family homes. Now for condos, what we call a condo, obviously condos, you can buy a villa, which can be a condo, and we call a villa an attached home. They share a wall, so those can be considered condos. So they vary greatly from what they cover. So you have to be very, very aware of what is covered in your condo association fees. Now, some of them will cover the roof replacement when it needs to be replaced. Some of them will cover replacing or redoing the roads when they need to be done. Some of them won't do either of those. But in general, what your HOA fees are going to cover for a condominium is going to be the exterior of the building, which is repainting the building and maintaining the grounds around the building. So to do that, and then anything within the community, pools, and again, you can get into some condominium communities here that are absolutely amazing with clubhouses and pools and workout facilities. And you can get into some that are pretty basic. So you have to be very, very aware of that, because if it's not covered in the HOA fees, your HOA fees will be lower. But then when the roofs need to be replaced, the streets need to be redone, something, they're going to replace all the windows in the condo, whatever. The building's going to be painted. If that's not part of the condo fees, then they do an assessment and they charge everybody for that, for the roof replacement. So it depends on the roof. Are you a single level like a villa where your roof replacement might be $15,000 to $20,000? Or is it replacing the roof on a mid-rise or a high-rise condo? It just all depends. So you have to be very, very aware of that. Now, what you have for insurance for a condo is also very important. The insurance that will be covered by the association will, if there was a catastrophe, if the building completely was destroyed by a fire or something crazy like that, which I've never seen that here, but I'm sure it happens, they replace the framework basically of the building, nothing within each individual condominium. So in other words, you own the air between the walls in that condo. So they would build the exterior walls back, and then anything within that condo, within the air inside, walls, carpeting, kitchen appliances, all of that, you would be responsible for insuring. Now, trust me, I am not an insurance person. I've just been doing real estate for 18 years, so I know these things. So definitely, absolutely, positively talk to a licensed insurance agent about all these things. But again, I'm giving you general idea of what it does, what it covers. So some people refer to condo insurance as renter's insurance. It's actually more expensive than that, because if you needed to replace that whole interior of the condo, it's going to be more. Renter's insurance is basically your belongings inside, like furniture and clothing. So a little bit different. Homesteading. If you're a snowbird, you can't homestead in the state of Florida. You can have one home that's homesteaded in the country. So, and Florida is very, very aware of this, because we have so many people that come here for vacation. So they check these things. I just got a notification that they were checking on my home. We had been living here for 5 years, just got married. So they saw the marriage thing go through. Hey, what's going on there? So I had to get my wife's information to let them know that she's living here. We're homesteaded. It's all good. So if you're not a resident of the state of Florida, you can't homestead. You can't live in Ohio and homestead a property here. What does homesteading do? It the big thing that it does, it protects your home. So if something, horrendous happened, they can't come and take your home away, is number one. Number two is it locks you in on your property taxes yearly. So your property taxes can't go up more than 3% per year. So I was just at a listing appointment last month, actually, in an area, waterfront home, Minnesota Key, built in 1986. They've been homesteaded since 1986. Their property taxes were roughly $7,000 a year. The new homeowner, their property taxes will probably be closer to $28,000 to $30,000 on that property. And then they can lock it in, homestead it, so theirs can't go up. But because those people have been homesteaded since 1986, it's only gone up 3% per year, max. Now it can go down 5%, it can go up by 1%, but it can't go up more than 3% per year. So something really cool. And you're taxed on the assessed value of your home. Now, how they come to that exactly, I'm not sure, but you'll have a just market value, you'll have an assessment, and if you're homesteaded, then they take $50,000 off the assessed value of your home, and then that's what you're taxed on. So that'll just give you a rough idea. We pay our taxes in arrears here. So that means in November, we just got our trim notices for how much our taxes are going to be on our homes, and they become due December 1st. And I believe you have until April to pay them, but the sooner you pay them, you get like a 1% deduction for paying them earlier. So every January, they assess your property. And then in November, you get the trim notice. You pay in December, and that covers the current year that you are in. We don't pay forward, we pay in arrears. Now, when you go to sell a property, we'll talk all about that. It's a completely different thing because you credit people back and forth for either the days that you occupy the property. Let's say one of my listings sells right now and they're going to close in March. So the current homeowner would give a credit for January, February, and March, the day of closing, to the new buyers for the amount of days that they own the property for those taxes. And then at the end of the year, the new buyer would owe the taxes for the whole entire year. That was a lot of talking, and I hope it made sense. So just wanted you to know that you can't homestead if you don't live here. There's some rule that people migrated down here, I think it's from Ohio, that says you have to live here 6 months and a day. That has nothing to do with the state of Florida, zero. So throw that one out. I think it's something to do with Ohio, I heard. All these new communities have a CDD fee. What is a CDD fee? Well, it's a bond that the developers take out to do all the infrastructure for the communities, the roads, the sidewalks, the lights, pipes for the sewers, everything that goes into a community. They take out a 30-year bond, and it's part of your property taxes. CDD fees, again, this is a generalization, but they run from about $1,200 to $1,800 a year, again, depending on the community you're in, the size home that you have, and it's added to your taxes. So if you have a CDD fee in your community, you can count on about 2.2% of the assessed value of your home. And again, generalization here, but approximately 2.2% of your assessed value of your home would be your property taxes. If you do not, like in my community, if we don't have a CDD fee, so it's about 1.7% of the assessed value, roughly, on our home. So the CDD fee also is paid forward. So it is paid, if you have a mortgage, it's paid October 1st, and it runs through the following year to September 30th. So again, there's prorations that go back and forth when you sell or when you purchase a property here. So that's all those CDD fees, how property taxes are paid, homeowners insurance. That's a big deal right now. So yes, homeowners insurance is going up. We've had a bunch of these little tiny insurance companies that flooded the state of Florida, did cut rate insurance policies, and got destroyed when we had a storm. and they bailed out. There's been like 18 of these smaller companies that were here and have left the state of Florida. So what happened is the larger companies were being undercut price-wise by these smaller companies, and they were like, yeah, that's gonna backfire. And guess what? It did. So the larger companies are still here, and our homeowners insurance is going up. Mine just went up $500. I'm now paying $2,900 a year for my homeowners insurance. My house is built in 1982, concrete block walls. We've replaced the roof and the windows, everything. So $2,900 a year, not in a flood zone. I'll talk about that in a second. And the newer homes, not an insurance person, but the newer homes like in the Del Webbs here, you could probably count on $1,500 to maybe $2,000 a year property insurance cost. They're built to the highest hurricane standards. Some have tile roofs, some have shingle roofs. Different communities have different. But again, they're a concrete block. The roofs are strapped down to the concrete block. They're required to either come with storm shutters or impact windows, which I just installed in my house, the impact windows. And, you know, that's the way they're built now. They're built like a fort, so they're very, very secure. Now the news that you see with homes being washed away and near the beaches and everything, of course the horrible, horrific news is the news, right? So they go to these areas like Fort Myers Beach, where homes were built in the 1960s and 70s, maybe even earlier than that. They're single level. They haven't been, updated, and we have a storm once every 25 years. It comes through, floods the area, and these homes are just, annihilated. So what we have now, homes are built above the new spec is they're built above the 100-year floodplain. So yeah, they're elevated if they're close to the water in a flood zone. Just a whole different animal from what they were back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even into the 80s. Just a totally different thing. Flood insurance, if you're in a flood zone and you have a mortgage, it's required. I don't know how much flood insurance costs within a flood zone. I won't even try to guess what that is. Again, talk to a licensed insurance person about that. But I think they're gonna make the whole state of Florida, they're gonna require everybody to have flood insurance, just because obviously people like us that aren't in a flood zone, it'll be significantly less than somebody who maybe lives on the water or close to the beach. It will be a lot higher. What else can I talk to you about? If you're buying a house and you're gonna be a snowbird, and you're not in a community with HOAs, just think about things like maintaining a pool if you have one. $120 a month, that's what I pay. My yard, $120 a month. So there's a few things to think about there. In general, again, our power bills on these newer homes, say a Del Webb, once again, you can count on about $120 to $150 a month, seriously. So again, that depends on how cool you like to keep your house, or maybe how warm you like to keep your house. So, but in general, because they're built so solid now, that's about average, $120 to $150 a month. Now I have, again, 1982 home. We've done the windows. We haven't done the sliding glass doors. So my last power bill was $320 for the month. Now we just came through October. It was hot. Had the air conditioner running 24/7, so $320. Our water bill, that's another thing you have to think about whether you're here or not. Our water, sewer, and trash are all combined. Mine is normally about $82 a month. So you have that. Car registration, about $72 per year. That's what I pay for my SUV. And then what's my last thing I put on here? Oh, that's right. We have no city tax, no state tax, and the craziest thing I've ever heard of, a car tax. I don't even know how they do that. A depreciating asset, and they have a tax on that. So you're going to save a ton of money coming here. Now, our sales tax in this area is 7%. So anything that you buy, not food, but if I buy a car, there's a 7% tax on it. So things like that. So in general, those are the things you got to be aware of. Gosh, I'm happy to talk to you about any of these. I hope I gave you a lot of good information. Again, I hope you'll subscribe to the channel. I try to put this stuff out all the time about living here in Paradise. I'm a Floridian. I've lived in the Sarasota area since 1992. Took a little bit of a hiatus out of here because I was in the restaurant business with Outback Steakhouse, went out to Las Vegas for 6 years, then came back here in 99. But in general, been here since 1992. So love it. Our beaches are amazing. And I'm happy to answer any questions for you about living here in Paradise. So feel free to reach out to me, email me, call me, text me. But I appreciate you watching the video. Hope you made it this far. But those are some of the costs that you got to be aware of when buying a house here in Paradise, okay? See you on the next video.